What's going on, guys? So there's been a lot of buzz around Eric Fleshauer's signature aesthetic, and so I figured I'd just make a tutorial video, give you guys some tips and tricks on maybe how you too can look more like Eric Fleshauer. And when you're trying to make yourself look like someone else, the first thing maybe you want to do is change your hairstyle. And a problem maybe someone like myself would come into, if you look like one of Donald Trump's children, chances are you don't look like Eric Fleshauer because you have blonde hair like I do. And so a way to change that is obviously just to change your hair color. And there's a few options that you could maybe approach in order to change your hair color. And one recently popular option amongst the more like hip teenage crew is to use Now spray paint, not only because it retards rust and is fast drying, but it can also be used inside and outside. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, so a lot of kids nowadays will just spray paint their hair instead of actually just, getting a do it at home self-dye kit. So a lot of people have problems with aerosols, mainly because they're harmful to the ozone layer. And so if you have a problem with aerosol cans, you don't really feel like spray painting your hair, you should probably just go get a do-it-yourself kit from like Walmart or something. But if you're on a tight budget, or if you live maybe downtown Chicago and you can't really get spray paint because they don't sell spray paint in downtown Chicago, you have to go outside of the city of Chicago to get spray paint, then there's probably some other options. I went to Wigs and Plus just down the street from where I lived and got High Beams color thickener, temporary spray on hair. Now if you look, you can see that the man on the can doesn't have any hair, and then when he sprayed this on, he did have hair. And I got this for only $6. It's a pretty good deal if it does what the can says it does. And if you're going for the Eric Fleshauer aesthetic, and if you have blonde hair like I do, something like this is probably beneficial for you, because you can get that nice Eric color simply just by applying this spray on hair. And and I don't know if it grows hair for you, or what. I don't know if it like actually starts to grow black hair, or if it just colors your hair. Ugh, that wasn't. I found this on the ground, by the way. So for those of you who are, are satisfied with the color of your hair, and if you think it looks Eric Fleshauer enough, but you can't grow facial hair like Eric Fleshauer, there are some options for you. For some, you could go to a place like Wigs and Plus and get something like a fake beard. For some, this is a preferable option. Some may, want to actually grow facial hair and actually dye it the color, because even if I were to grow facial hair, it would just grow out blonde. So I would need to maybe spray on, the color. I wonder what that just kind of looks like. It probably looks like, I could just, maybe spray on a beard, but that probably won't look too good, at the end of the day. It doesn't really look like actual facial hair. And so for those of you that don't actually feel like buying, spending $35, maybe upwards to $60, $70 on a fake beard, there's some options that you can maybe approach that are maybe a little cheaper. I went to Wigs and Plus while I was at Wigs and Plus getting my color thickener temporary spray on hair. I also picked up some of these hair nets, and you know, I was wondering I was looking at the time because I was trying to figure out how I was gonna make, you know, fake beard, because you know you need a beard if you're gonna look like Eric Fleshauer, and but I also didn't want to spend really the money on a fake beard, so I figured, you know, these hair nets would make a really, you know, a pretty good substitute for actual facial hair. And so, you know, I didn't really worry about it looking too great and looking too much like actual facial hair. I just really cared about covering it in this substance. And once you play around with it a little bit, it looks pretty good. You know, you want to make sure you leave space for your mouth. You know, just so you can talk and so people don't, you know, wonder if that's a fake beard or not, or wonder if that's like, you know, like, why is your beard covered in a bunch of, you know, hair nets. But you know, it's hair, it's facial hair, and you know, they're hair nets, so you know, maybe people wouldn't really worry, you know, or suspect anything too suspicious. You know, I don't really have anything against people with beards, or people with black hair for that matter. You know, I just can't grow them myself. And honestly, once you've touched up your hair a little bit, you know, you're rocking just like the Fleshauer.